Trustless, Degens. This is the show where we talk about all things related to blockchain and Web3. So it's pretty much insert a buzzword here. And this week we're doing this in crypto while we try and figure out what we really want to do for this show. But it's a this week in crypto. We felt like, new narratives. Narratives are in the air. Narratives are changing. And we mentioned this a little bit last week, so I won't beat it over the head too much. But, there's a little bit of crypto. There's a little bit of fatigue in the air as this winter drudges on. And so I played this once before when no one's here. But I want to give it its shine one more again. And that is this video.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving! The show goes on! This is my home! They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to take me out of here! They're gonna need to send in the National Guard a fucking SWAT team, because I ain't going nowhere!
Oh man. All right. So that's our intro today. Welcome to Trustless Degens. Got my boy Rex Satoshi with me. We had Bitfiend with us earlier, but he had to drop out because bear markets be as bear markets be, and we got to get that cheese. So tis what it is, but happy he's making it. How are you doing this week, Rex Satoshi?
Making it, man.
Making it.
Just trying to stay on the hunt for whatever.
Red October's out there. I feel that. It's tough. It's tough times for crypto folks, but there's still plenty to learn. I feel like and it's not so. This is what I'll say. Like put like a lovely little silver lining on it. That it's not so busy with the constant yield opportunities or just gain opportunities that like the market is just saturated and you can't really tell what's poo-poo and what's not. To put it in very basic, I mean that should make sense. People like honestly, like what's crap, what's a crap project, and what's not. I feel like that's becoming very, very apparent in the market. Where you and that's not to say that other projects can't exist. And by that I mean like tokenomic structures, maybe, or like how their emissions of a token is. I was listening to this Spaces earlier. I don't want to get too far off topic, but I was listening to Spaces earlier, and they were talking about the idea of real yield, and one guy was like, bad projects can still exist the way that bad businesses exist. Some businesses just don't make money the way that other businesses make money. Some businesses bleed, and some are really forward about it. Like, it's probably not going to last. We need like a lot of donations for this stuff to go up. Some are really forward about this stuff. It's like, but the thing is, you need to be honest and upfront about that stuff. And I feel like this is the point in time where people are actually learning a lot of this stuff, and we're learning, what are those businesses? When we want to take it, not be like so like cynical about it. Like, what are those businesses that are maybe not great, but can do whatever the heck? And then what are those ones that are like truly doing like, it's like you not really hard to debate. Like, no, that's real yield. And by real yield, I mean something that's generating some type of revenue or profit from people utilizing it. So one basic example of that would just be like trading on exchanges and AMMs, automated market makers, where individuals are the bank. You provide your own liquidity and people trade with that. That would be, in my opinion, a real yield scenario, because that's people are getting trading fees from that and they're getting some type of yield. Then there's impermanent loss and stuff that factors into the yield. But that trading in a capacity, if you had like a general business that like made people really want to come to your business and like, do whatever the hell there. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a game even, but they got to pay for it. That would be like some type of real yield model around that thing then, and how it's distributed to the community. That would be that factor. That was a long. I had to sum it up after I got into that divergent. Sorry about that, Rex Satoshi. Sorry.
No, you're good, bro.
Yeah. But yeah.
There's a lot of there are alphas to be had, and now's the time to slow down and kind of like look at your strategy, try to build upon it, or fine tune it a little bit. Try to find what's really real out here, because like before, the market, the market that we were in, things just weren't real. Like things were just like things were inflated, and now that everything has
And yeah, and that's what I'll say. That's what like somebody brought this up before in the market. And I won't say that like like it wasn't real. Like some things weren't like I don't know, depending on how you want to use this semantically. Some things weren't real, but like really like how you start to frame it at the end is how, in my opinion, how I would word things, which is things were a little inflated, right, and not even like a little bit. We got to consider how much money the Federal Reserve. Our Federal Reserve, and then I don't know around the country and stuff like that. I was really only paying attention to the United States, around the world, excuse me. I was really only paying attention to the United States, but like when one central bank does it, the other ones inflate their own levels and stuff like that. We did like an unprecedented amount of money getting pushed into the market for a long time. And it was like before that, before people were paying attention with COVID, it was already happening. I was like, yo, we're doing like some crazy stuff that we've never done before, pumping money out there. And then COVID hit, and they were like, more than ever. And it just went crazy. It went crazy.
Yeah.
It was already unprecedented, y'all. Like that's the thing. A lot of people weren't paying attention before, so they were like, what? But we had already like we were just like doing this multiplier type effect to things. So yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, so a lot of money in the market, and that's part of a quantitative easing, flushing money into the market. And I forget which president I want to say, so maybe like Hoover or something like that, but somebody said something along the lines of, like one of the best ways to control the economy is to get your money out there. And I'm paraphrasing like crazy, but look that up. I'm sure if you paraphrase too, you'll probably find it in Google. But basically they said, that's one of the best ways to control a currency is to get your currency in other people's hands, so that becomes what they're using. And we have that situation with the United States dollar, and so much of it out in rotation will eventually had to come back, and so now it's finally coming back. And this the point from this podcast I'd say earlier was just that this guy was like, okay, we put like 21 trillion or something like that out there, and we've so far pulled like 7 trillion back in. And so I don't know if these numbers that he's saying are correct or not, but like regardless, if you can visualize that, like putting $21 trillion of like debt, or like it's going out to different businesses and stuff like that, and individuals out into the economy, and then eventually you're pulling that back, and you've only pulled back 1/3 of it so far. That's kind of what we're going through right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little more for a little while here. Or until they figure out what they're gonna do, or until we figure out what we're gonna do. But like old Jordan said,
we're gonna ask who's there.
We ain't leaving.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep building. And man, what's wild and it's just that right now we're starting to see we are seeing what's real in the market, which is the DEX, brother. The DEX is real.
I've been saying it, man.
And the amount of money that's going through, like going through Uniswap and even Pancake is almost more than the Coinbase.
Can we put this? Can I put this up on screen for you real quick? Let me put this on screen. I got it. We got great segue, great timing. Satoshi, yeah. So this is DeFi Llama. We bring this up pretty much every show to try and kind of show what the market's looking like, and maybe have to zoom in a little bit here for you guys. So, but yeah, this is the TVL and DeFi in general. So this is across multiple blockchains and stuff like that. And yes, they miss some T projects and stuff like that, but generally speaking, this is pretty dang close to what we got. They're tracking a lot of information. It's at the top of this list. Oh my goodness, it's been flipping back and forth day after day. It's PancakeSwap and then Uniswap. Most recently, PancakeSwap had like flipped you. They did it again, dude. They did it again just the other day. Like I took a screenshot, and then they're going back and forth so much. But yeah, PancakeSwap making their way up there, and all these examples of DEX AMMs is what I was talking about in terms of real yield. So different, us finding out who are the serious competitors and who's giving some type of real yield. Like these all do it for staking liquidity.
Money? Who really has the money around here? Because a lot, as we've seen, a lot of exchanges don't really have the money, but some places do. Like DeFi has the money that they say they have. The CeFi shit that we can't verify and look at, like we gotta wait for proof of reserves and shit for that. We don't really know what they got, and they be moving stuff around all the time. So who really knows?
Yeah. Shout out to DeFi Llama also for like trying to bring some transparency to the CeFi sector of things, where they have this sex transparency area. And for anybody who's like sex, like, yes, I did. And that's also been a big joke that's been going around in crypto Twitter lately, where people are like, yeah, practice safe sex or just no sex at all. Because honestly, true. And of course, we mean CES exchange when we're saying that. But yeah, this section here is just to give us some idea of like the reserves on the different platforms. I mean, Binance, OKX, Bitfinex, Crypto.com. But yeah, they're trying to, do the job that those platforms aren't making so obvious to folks. And one, I'll say this too, and then give the floor to you. But it's funny to see this all done in crypto. I'm sure there are some websites that do it done in traditional finance or like in just banking in general, but I don't feel like it's like as, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that deep down those rabbit holes. I don't feel like it's like always presented to people like, yeah,
it's clean because there has a market for that type of stuff, but there's starting to be a market for transparency and being up with this type of stuff, and it's small because I mean you have to I don't know, type of person to want to even look at this type of shit and to want to analyze it and try to figure out what's going on. Some people really just are okay with not really knowing, which I get, but just like just have to see through it all.
I want to know.
I think that so there's this beta though, for this project called I forget what it's called, but what it does is it makes the blockchain really pretty and easy to go through and look up, and you can send people's wallets. Like looking is really meticulous and it sucks. But you can make it.
It's like an application.
I think so. Yeah.
Because I've seen apps coming out. I forget their names because like I always like see it and I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. I ain't with that. And I'll move forward. But for like
Arkham,
it's good.
It's called Arkham.
Arkham, nice.
Some people, especially I don't go through blockchain transactions and tracking stuff because it's all here and there and everywhere. But I definitely feel like if they make it a little easier to surf through and make it prettier, a little easier on the eyes, then people will start doing it, and people will that kind of template to be put on other stuff. Like
you saying that. That like makes me surprised that like more like I don't know, I haven't seen it from like MetaMask. If I like play this MetaMask wallet I have right now on the screen, I'm sure it won't have that. But like I mean, you used Tron wallet before, and so like on mobile specifically, you using Tron wallet and has like the whole like app interface. Like use all these different apps, known apps, but like they're basically like apps that actually work within the ecosystem and are like nice to use. I'm just surprised like I haven't seen more of that like type of development, and I guess this is like a type of project that's doing that in whatever capacity, because I think that's still like the Tron wallet's still very like you're still very core or native to like crypto and DeFi. You're not like really like I'm kind of new to this stuff. But yeah,
when I was new, I was getting into Tron, but it's just that right now there's the analogy that I've been hearing lately is just like there aren't any new people coming in. It's just the same here, just moving money around. So it's kind of
that's the same. Like, people are saying across all of blockchain right now, really. Like, like in DeFi and stuff. They're like, well, in DeFi, they're like, and that's the clarification. I should say, like in DeFi, or they're like people are mostly one of the narratives is just that oh, money's going from this loser to this winner on like more of like a trading type of basis. or understanding of like certain applications or whatever versus just actual new capital coming in. And I think that's like largely kind of like mentioned before. I think that's largely in part to the fact that we were doing quantitative easing before, and now we're doing quantitative tightening. And so there's like not a lot of, not to say that there's no money coming in, right, guys? There's probably like some money coming in, like, and people are earning stuff from it, but like there's just a lot less in the market to be. People don't just everybody and their mama ain't talking about maybe I'll go to Jamaica or the Bahamas or something like that for the next, this part of COVID. That was happening, folks. It's not act like that wasn't happening. People are like, yeah, I know it's bad here, but maybe I'll go to Florida. I might just fly over there. And it's like, bro, what? Yeah, well, I'm not doing nothing. They gave me this money. It's like, whoa. Like let's not forget that happened. So before we move on and talk about the some of these more macro situations, I wanted to just point out the general, like, I guess we could call this the money flow for DeFi, which was that we had this big up here, and then we've been going through all this stuff, and isn't there a way to put it in? I don't know. I guess you have to be on certain specific charts. Oftentimes with DeFi Llama, you can like put certain things here, and that's just light and dark mode. I don't want that. Specific market happen. So if there was like a big crash or whatever, they'll be like, this is when that crash happened. This is when that happened. And maybe I just don't have it highlighted right now. But in general, I wanted to show that before we go on, because what the screen says, yeah, imminent crash for stocks, ? 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. I thought this is a fun article to go through where we kind of talk about more topics. Oh, there's the bottom line there. Macro topics. So just bigger picture things that are happening. Including specifically, maybe not. You want to say something, Mr. Satoshi?
Well, my favorite kind of macro thing that I'm seeing that's going across all markets is this AI stuff, which is scary and interesting. Who knows what that'll turn into, but there are already some AI projects. With the stocks, like I don't know, man. Like a lot of really prominent investors, there's a lot of prominent business CEOs have been calling for a recession, and 2023 they said it's not started yet, which is wild to me that we spent this whole year going down, and everyone's like, "Oh, this isn't the recession yet." And what that's going to look like is stocks not bringing in as much money, companies not bringing in as much money as they used to, and them not being able to borrow money as easy as they could, and so there won't be as much money being pushed into the market to try to try to keep everything going in a sense. So there's been a lot of layoffs and stuff, and a lot of people losing jobs, a lot of people laying off, employees, all tech companies. And most of the S&P 500 is like technology, and so we'll see what happens. If I was people, I would kind of prepare for that.
This is what I'll say about that too. That happening. Like just to play both sides of things a little bit, because we are hearing a lot about like these layoffs, and specific to this layoff situation that you're talking about. We're hearing a lot about these layoffs in the tech sector, heavy layoffs in the tech sector and this and that. But then you'll also hear a lot of what I'll just call big wigs or billionaires, like the Kevin O'Learys and stuff like that in the world, talking about where all the new smarties going as far as jobs and what sector they're looking at, and they keep saying blockchain. So I'm like, if all these people are getting laid off from the normal tech sector, and I also work in blockchain, let me know. Looks like people be hiring. It seems like there's a transition of a lot of tech going into blockchain. So this is just something, just a Degen. We don't give financial advice on the show. I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. We do all that, all those disclaimers. But that's my opinion. My opinion is like a lot of that is moving into the blockchain space to continue innovation. It'd be like, because it's like the internet. It's like it's that new .com bubble that's very apparent now. There was the whole first like, okay, are you going to have one of these first websites? And then it was like, okay, obviously having a website can be pretty dang profitable. Let's start the blog phase. And like we're kind of like in the blog phase of the internet. And like if you weren't alive back then, you had your own website and it was a blog. My goodness, well then you could do anything. Crazy.
I wish I would have had a blog back then.
Back before all the copy paste and dragging around. I mean, you could always do it in some capacity. You just have to really know what you're doing. But yeah, I feel like that's where we're at in terms of like market. We're 2019 or not? Excuse me, next year is 2019. I feel like we're in 2018 again, and next year will be 2019 in the market. So into next year, I'd imagine you start seeing some 2019 rally type stuff. That's what I'm feeling, at least. But yeah, this right here is talking about a potential Santa rally. Will there be a Santa? Questions. I'm just gonna go through some of this really quickly for some potential questions for us to think about during today's show. Right? Is there going to be a Santa rally this year? And what is a Santa rally? Santa rally is generally speaking, time of year around the holidays when the markets take off. It's like markets take off, and like generally they might dump again like around the new year because people be doing stuff for tax purposes and get a little volatile. But the markets tend to go green right around Christmas. Will that happen this year? Quick opinions on it. Satoshi, what's your opinion? We're gonna go through like chats through these. You got 30 seconds.
There will be a little Santa Claus rally. I don't know what day or how long it'll last, but or how much it'll be. 10%. We could have already had the Santa Claus rally. I don't know, but have fun with that. That's not the rally I'm looking for necessarily. Right. But okay. I think that there might be something. I don't know.
Okay. We'll yeah. I'm a proponent. I think there might be some Santa Claus rallying happening this year because of the Fed Reserve slowing things down. I do think we might still see some dumpiness after that. Again, I personally feel like every into January is like a dumpy time of year. And then toward the end of January, we get a little pumpy, or maybe even like after the first week or so, we get a little pumpy. But like generally speaking, right around New Year, it get kind of dumpy. So.
You just reminded me about J-Phone and his I guess what was that? Was it last week, the week before? I think it was the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning of this week, started talking about pivoting. I do think when they decide to kind of pivot and be more honest about it. Which I don't know if that will be super soon, because I've never really lived through exactly what it will look like and how long it'll take. But I do think for a second, for I don't know how long there'll be a pump, like everything's back to normal, and then I don't know. I don't know if that's going to cause something to break, but after that, things are going to kind of break again.
Yeah, we had a comment from the Infinite said that he believes there will be a Santa rally because even broke people buy for Christmas, and that is true. That's the truest of the truth. Like that's the one part about Christmas to disgust me a little bit, because not that it doesn't show some compassion or love or whatever, but I'm when people are really really broken, they still feel like they can't show that love unless they buy somebody something. That's the problem we have, folks. As a personal opinion, I'm that's we should if somebody's really struggling, this should be even you mentioning that to me and being open with me enough to say that is thank you. Thank you for being open with me about what you're going through in your life, which is what you're handling. I don't know. I'm a different type of person, that type of shit though. But yeah, in general, this is the time of year people are going to spend some money, and so that's what I'm expecting. Also, there's CPI numbers and stuff like that, and the Federal Reserve potential pivot. So I think
the what do you think the CPI numbers are going to come out? You think they're going to be on target? You think they're gonna undershoot it or overshoot it?
Well, okay. So they said that the promotion of things was that Black Friday was a hit. It was a hit. Everybody loved Black Friday. That's the promotion of things. But then people are saying,
That's not what I heard.
yeah, people are like also like, well, that's like I feel like mass media more so. I don't know. It depends what I was looking at, I guess. Seeing contradicting sides, I guess is more accurate. Because I do listen to like a lot of like, more individual podcaster type people and stuff. And those folks are more like, yeah, actual numbers is maybe it's not as nice. And they're kind of just pumping numbers. So I don't know. I think we'll see. It'll be interesting. It was not, for me personally, yeah, it wasn't like a big like pay attention to Black Friday like that year, but maybe it should have been. And maybe that's people like, especially like the people that I was just talking about, maybe it's that time to get that. If you're gonna get somebody something for Christmas, I'm damn sure gonna do it online, because we just learned about a lot of stuff online and at a cheaper price, hopefully, than a week from now.
Have you seen the price of gas lately?
I paid for some. I did not even pay attention.
I haven't seen the price, but the price of gas has been going down. It's been going down. So I think that the inflation numbers are probably going to come good. But we've just like pumping out of our strategic reserves lately, which I know we have been, but when we did that, the inflation kind of came down a little bit. So I'm thinking maybe the CPI numbers will look better than not better. Like they'll be lower than maybe expected. They'll be lower than last month. We won't be going back up quite yet. What I think is when the Fed actually decides to pivot, like inflation is just gonna go back up again. So like why do we really want them to pivot necessarily? Like if they pivot, that means they're just
I mean, they can only like strangle things for so long. There's only so long that they can actually take money out of the market. Like, we put like it's like doing like, I'm a bank and I do borrowing and lending, and I decided to lend all this money out, and then I'm just like, you know what? Don't pay it back to me. Like, they need that. They're going to take that back. Like, they're going to play both sides of this. They're not just going to be like, you know what? Or like, in that case, or in the case of like, I'm just going to keep taking it. And it's like, well, you've taken it all, sir. Or you've taken like a decent amount back. You're going to like start to like really strangle us. And they just keep taking from like the, the person they borrowed to. That would, it would be, you have to play both sides of it equally with some balance. And yeah, you can overhand in a degree. You can overreach in somebody's account and they can go negative for a little bit, but you make them go too negative and they can't recover from that, and somebody's likely to not have a nice time with the time they have left. It's just like nobody's gonna you deal people too bad of a hand, and like you're probably not getting paid if you do that. In the same way, the other hand, put too much money out there. Well, yeah. Going back to this slide here. The difficult, some other reasons for things to look out for Bitcoin. One, I forget if it's up here. I would say miners already in giant capitulation. So Bitcoin miners in capitulation. This means that people are basically stopping to mining, ceasing the mining. This usually happens. I could probably read through this and they probably say it. Data shows it, but it's basically when it's like less profitable. It's like it's not possible. You get a little capitulation or people selling their coins and stuff. Additional data confirms this. And then down here, it's talking about difficulty set for biggest drop in 17 months as more and more computers are on the network, or what are they called in Bitcoin? But it's more people are helping to secure the network. The mining difficulty increases. This is very similar how the Ethereum works. You can see it really visual. I'm going to pop it up because I love going to this website. My pop-up blocker, ultrasound money, money. Something like the so it becomes more and more. When in that sense, it's like trying to become like more and more expensive. Yeah, and then the exact opposite situation. Less people that are using Ethereum, the more scenario it becomes, and in that sense, they're kind of like encouraging people to use. It's becoming that much more cheaper. So we saw this round right here or so, when it became like really deflationary for a bit, was a new app came out on Ethereum, Zen. in that turn markets. I believe it's that player. It might have been this one, but one of these big downwards is Zen came out and turn markets. People started using Ethereum that much more and turned it more deflationary. So that's how that works out. And this is like nothing other than like kind of an elastic supply type of thing happening. Very, very similar to the federal government's strategy of doing quantitative easing and tightening. It's just done in blockchain via code, via actual supply and demand of a market from people's actual interactions on that market. So hopefully we'll get rid of some of the issues that we end up doing as humans when we maybe don't pivot when we should pivot in terms of Federal Reserve is doing, or keep inflating the supply for too long. But yeah, all that was in relation to this big drop. Go ahead, Satoshi. Forgot.
I forgot something else that might be surprising. Maybe another article. It's kind of like we're gonna let go of this mask mandate. So people are thinking that China's kind of gonna open up to get at that the start of a reversal in the trend, kind of, which I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen, but I think it's interesting that China's gonna start to open up again, because that's where a lot of manufacturing happens, where a lot of stuff is made. So I mean, them being open again would be awesome, but I'm not sure because they're still protesting over there. Not sure what that'll mean, but I do think that it could be good. It's good that people need to pay attention to.
Yeah. I did not know that. So that's actually interesting news there.
They had a crazy lockdown too. Like, it wasn't like the lockdown we had over here, where
they had some crazy
still go
protests.
out. Nah, they're like tracking you by
they had some. They had that 1984 lockdown.
They had a big brother out there looking for
that we happy few
out. Yeah, so I'm really happy that they're gonna get to fucking go outside, touch grass, and maybe try to get back to a normal life over there. I think questioning what China's rebound would be. Well, yeah, me too, because they have some issues over there. Their housing market already crashed. So I guess you could say they were kind of at rock bottom. It seemed like. I mean, we've been talking about China all the year. Like, they've been going through it. As of right now, they have an issue lecturing. Oh yeah, like their employees aren't allowed to go anywhere. Like, I don't even know if they're allowed to work.
I feel like that would be a big thing to pay attention to, for sure. That like shouldn't probably be understated. Since China was the first like major country like affected by COVID. Oops, I said that word. People don't like to say it, but it was the first major country affected by that, and obviously they're a major producer in the world, etc. And so seeing them pivot from this, regardless to when other people did, I feel like that shouldn't be understated. It's probably like a lot bigger than maybe we can recognize, and it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. The last thing that I wanted to show on this article before we start moving to some of these other topics we have today, keep the thing moving, was this little thing right here where it's talking about sentiment extreme fear. So there's an extreme fear index in cryptocurrency, and probably in other markets. I know it's in cryptocurrency. That's my George Bush impersonation. But sentiments avoid extreme fear here, and that just means
I think this indicator's fucking broken, because if you weren't fucking scared during that FTX.
I mean, I don't know, bro. I'm pretty jaded. I'm one of these, sitting in a burning room listening to John Mayer Bitcoin people.
Because you weren't exposed, man. You weren't exposed. You weren't this close. You weren't this close. like everyone else was, and everyone else was just like, damn. Just like, bro, like they had their name on an NBA arena. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, I don't want to get into it.
That reminds me, I was supposed to watch this video from the Infinite, who like sent me something like it said like esports, orgs keep accepting like dodgy money, and I'm like,
true, money is money.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, look, money is money, and like before you watch this video to like give my actual opinion on what this person might have meant by that. But before, like, I'm like, yo, it's money is money. Like, you got a company coming to you being like, hey, like to sponsor you. Like, here's the money. Like, yeah, y'all doing anything shady? No, sir. All right. I haven't seen you guys do anything shady either. I don't understand what you guys are doing exactly. So I'm gonna take the, and like, can you take the money? Like, this happens all the time. That'd be like not understanding the inner workings of Starbucks, and then Starbucks goes under one day, and they're like, that was some shady coffee money. Like, bro, if you don't get out of here.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think that people should be careful about like going after like people who are paid to promote things. I feel like it's like, you know, it's embarrassing that you would buy something because someone else to buy it, kind of.
Bro, the funniest thing I heard on the internet was people being like buying some crypto because it was in Kim Kardashian's Instagram stories. Like,
yeah, like that's not the reason. It's just like that's why we're here. Like that's just like you're obviously trying to make money, so you're gambling. Like that's what you're doing at that point.
Yeah, speculation.
You're not trying to.
You're not trying to understand the technology.
Yeah.
You're not searching for which one of these protocols is doing real yield. And that's what I'll say is the difference between me and you, Jack. Is when I walk into the ring, I'm looking for real yield. I'm looking for the DeFi protocols that are ready to rumble and tumble.
That was some WWE right there, man. Where did that come
from? Trying to pull it out. You know, I was a fan.
I feel you on that, man. Yeah, it's just like you were looking for, you were out here like scratching off a scratcher ticket, and now you're like upset that you lost. Like, no, we can go after Kim for that, and we can't go after like Steph and Tom Brady, who clearly lost way more money than you lost, probably. Like these people probably lost a good change as well. Yeah, they were paid to promote, which, you know, that's how we for things. Advertising, I hate it too, but they pay for YouTube, they pay for fucking NBA, they pay for the NFL, they pay for everything you watch on TV. The advertisers pay for that shit.
And look, I love advertising because sometimes it can be honest and true, but you know, often with the CFI stuff and just with a lot of the, put the infinites comment up here, you know, that's like 80% of the market. The influencer said buy it, and then people were like, I'm all in, basically. And I'm like, yeah, that was the problem. And like, I saw this, you know, saying influence right there. I saw it immediately with like the crypto market. Like the first person that, and I think Rex Satoshi has, you know, more kind feelings toward this person, or just like more, affections versus me, would be Alex Becker. Like when this man flipped and was all of a sudden saying nice stuff about cryptocurrency, and I was like, no, he's about to draw a big cryptocurrency audience. This man don't know first from lick from lack. Like, cool, you want to make a game, but like all your entire channel is just about you jumping on whatever next trend. And so like, and my only thing, like, not that somebody can't do that, especially that's your thing, then you're a researcher, you know, or as we say in crypto, researcher, and that's what you do. But to come in and position yourself and say that you're like an expert right out the gate, and like, you know, all the best projects and this and that, and like, oh, get these tokens, like when he's doing like that type of, which gets you the audience so that you can promote something else because you made something really catchy or clickbaity. But I'm like, bro, you shouldn't really be talking on that stuff. And you like talking down on Cardano all the time and stuff. And I'm like, bam, you really like, it wasn't some like crazy like poop coin that like just like blew up, but it went from 2 cents in the last market to like $2. Like, you sound silly. Shut up. You talking about, bruh? You talking about? You leading people down the wrong path. And this one is like, and Cardano's gonna survive. like you sending people at like Solana. You telling people to buy Solana, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I told people to buy Solana too, when it was like a couple cents or a couple dollars. I think that Alex Becker is a way more entertaining version. Like, he's way more entertaining, dude. He's a but.
Look, if you can get past
but
the
Alex, Alex is a huge troll.
He is a troll.
Like Alex is you can tell Alex he's acting. Now I don't know how Alex is.
And let me say, I like Alex Becker. I just like that positioning. I had some feelings about that just because I knew like the level of knowledge that he could have potentially known about crypto after being negative to crypto for that long, and then coming into the market and like suggesting things to people.
Actually, I've seen.
Yeah, he used to be like Alex, that's all he had the opinion of.
I feel like Alex is like really honest about the market as far as if you're trying to make money. I don't feel like he really cares about.
Nah, bro. He used to be calling crypto like straight up scam. Everything in crypto is a scam. Like Bitcoin's a scam, Ethereum's a scam. It was like, bro, you don't even understand the technology. You can't say shit like that.
And I didn't know him back then. But dude, everybody used to say that. There's a lot of people that used to say that who are in the market now.
But that's exactly why those weren't necessarily the people to be listening to right then. Like market turn hot. Like I guess I don't know. Like yeah. Like but the things that blew up because he said it were because he said it, not because they were good.
Okay, yeah, there were a couple of projects that he promoted that were very interesting with as far as the technology that they had, but they're all projects that are down to the prices that they were before he ever talked about them. like the prices of token, the price of those tokens did not sustain, the market that they were in.
I mean, what did?
So,
what did sustain?
I think that everyone who is a promoter or an influencer, I feel like a lot of people are way too focused on the price in relation to those people. Exactly, like they feel like you promoted this and now the price is zero. Hey, you promoted this and now the team scammed us into all of our money. And it's just like a lot of it is just like people wanting to blame whoever they can. And since the promoter is always there or the influencer they're like they get the brunt of all the blame.
Yeah, it can't be a witch on people, especially like again my thing. Again, I actually like Alex Becker because like I take him more of like an entertainer type person. Yeah, it can't be because like a lot of I think he's just like joking about like the Alex Becker situation.
Alex Becker.
Yeah, like us and like my reaction to Alex Becker and like yeah, like But tis what it is. Yeah, again, my takeaway from that segment will be that, we can't be doing like witch hunt on people. Like, I like Alex Becker. I like a lot of these different people that are doing things. A lot of them are just trying to research things and give their honest opinion on things. Not everybody's like evil. Like, it's a lot to learn in cryptocurrency. Should people be a little bit more forward when they've been paid to say to do something or say something? Yes, they should. They really should, especially on YouTube, because it's like actually like a law to do so on YouTube. So they should be doing that. Or I guess it's not a law; it's like a term of service. Like it's not technically a law. Maybe it is a law too, though. Could actually be a law too, like that type of thing.
Also, I want to be really honest about the reason I like Alex Becker is because he pumped my back. So I'm not gonna lie. Like he sent a couple of tokens that I bought through the roof. So I ain't gonna lie about that. But
he just had a big audience with money.
He did, but hey,
I don't think I saw like any Alex Becker videos that were like, and like he would talk about these things like on occasion, but he would like undermine them compared to other things, like straight up, just like we looked at that list. Let's go to DeFi Llama. Let me put this up on the screen. Look at this list. You know how long it took Alex Becker to, in a positive light, mention like PancakeSwap?
I don't. Has he
like
ever?
An option.
I've only heard him talk about like fucking like NFTs and like player gaming.
Like providing liquidity as an option to something that actually just makes people money long term. Like these type of things. Like it's just like, and it's not that he couldn't. Maybe he didn't know that. It's just I don't know. That's my thing. It's like maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Chances are you didn't know a lot of this stuff because you were so dang new to the market. But I won't harp on it too much. That is my thing. Moving forward with this whole section, a part of the stream. This is the part of the stream. Let me actually go out real quick because I wanted to put this on the screen. This is the part of the stream that I wanted to call What is crypto? Normally still don't get it, and it shows. Yeah,
what is gas fees?
What is crypto? Yeah, what is gas? What is gas fees?
What is gas fees? Hold on.
So these next few articles in general or topics are gonna all be like different things where it's different people's maybe not truly showing they understand crypto, but having some pretty strong opinions about crypto.
Are you Apple or not? Are you Apple or are you not? Do you understand how taxes work? Do you understand how gas fees work? Apple? Maybe? No? A little bit?
Yeah, no. Apple showed that they have no idea how blockchain works, how to make money off of blockchain. They saw an opportunity. This is what this reads as. To me, this reads as how dare they be doing something where they can make money off of our users. Our users are using their app and making money. How dare they? We need some of that profit. How do we take it? We take it from the gas fees. And it's like
I'm gonna need Elon to go ahead and make that phone now. Let's run it, Elon. Go ahead and
make a meme of this. I have to make like a video meme of this or something. It's just like the meeting that happened at Apple to come up with this idea. Somebody's like, what do we do? How do we get the profits back from them? We go at the gas fees. The gas fees are really high.
Jesus Christ.
Oh Lord, they must have thought like the wallet being used or something could like they thought the wallet could like actually
they think that's how is making their money off the gas fees.
I think they really just thought like the wallet was associated with like how gas fees were collected or something. And so since Coinbase wallet is about, they must have some type of, they generating some revenue from these transactions. And it's like, damn, what?
So it was the Coinbase NFT that started all this, right? So maybe Apple thought that the percentage that Coinbase takes off their NFT platform was included in gas or something. On a cut of that, because I can't imagine that Coinbase made an NFT platform and they're not taking some type of cut off of the transactions. But that's
I imagine they're taking cut from something, but it's not gas fees. This is just this is just showing their ignorance though. Like the fact that they came at their throat for like what?
Yeah, but maybe Coinbase is maybe Coinbase thinks we're stupid, and Coinbase is like, oh no, like they're trying to take our little bit of transaction fees, and Coinbase is like representing it as like them saying they want some of the gas fee when really it's the transaction fee that they want. So I mean,
look, if nothing else, Apple came in here speaking English, and everybody else in the room is German. They're like, let's clown this English fool, bro. Like, and it's like, you don't know how to speak right. You don't know how to speak right. like, oh, bro, dang, I can tell the energy you said that with. Apple reading this right now, and they can't understand what Coinbase talking about. That's the problem. Like, and it shows. They're reading this over right now in their next board meeting, and they're like, "What's the problem with us asking for the gas fees?" Well, they're stingy. Like, and it's like,
also, Coinbase, y'all making no money on Coinbase NFT. Like, y'all, I don't know. I might need to just drop that. But y'all are making no money over there, so they're like, we're not gonna give them any of this money that we're not making. We're just gonna pull this shit off. We're not gonna put this on there because I don't think they're talking about taking Coin Wallet off of fucking App Store. It was the NFT thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Well, again, a segment very, very appropriately titled, I believe, just because I feel like a lot of these companies and people that we're going to be mentioning just really have no clue. And again, Apple's claim, let's just read this out. Apple's claim is here, let me read the first part. You might have noticed you can't send NFTs on Coinbase wallet. So anybody who didn't know and you didn't read while we got this on screen, let me help you out. I probably should have done this at the beginning. You can't send NFTs on the Coinbase wallet iOS anymore. This is because Apple blocked our latest app release until we disable the feature. What's the feature? To send NFTs on a wallet. Why is that? Because Apple claims is the gas fees required to send NFTs need to be paid through their in-app purchase system, so they can collect 30% of the gas fees. Coinbase wallet is not making anything. People sending things in gas fees. That's like what validators and the whole. That's how blockchains run. And so if you're thinking that like the wallet's making the money, I don't know how to help you. You shouldn't be talking about this stuff. He's just like, dude, why would you do that? Stop. Okay, so moving into the next one we have here for there was one other one. Make sure I get this. Was it still there? I'm just gonna do this one. Next other one we have here for I don't think they understand it, but they're talking about it, right? Is these guys right here. So read this title to you. Financial policy makers. Yeah, they know everything about blockchain. Or do they? Financial stability watchdogs vow to tackle DeFi. And this is the part that really got me. And then as I read through the article, I was never pleased to learn that they knew any better. Yeah, because they just didn't know any better, it seems. Like this is a semantic issue is what I'm really getting at here, guys. Financial stability watchdogs vow to tackle DeFi, learn FTX lessons. FTX was not a DeFi issue. Like, the people saying that consistently, they're like, if you're still saying that, then you, for one, you don't listen to like the actual like sphere of people that are actually using that technology. Because everybody and their grandma that's related to DeFi has been like, yo, it's DeFi. That's not DeFi. Like maybe at some point you would want to like figure that out and be like, what's the difference between the two then? Well, one is controlled by a centralized entity and the other one is not. The other one is in some form giving governance to people. It's a public board for people in some form or another versus your closed off company. And like if it's not that, then stop calling it DeFi. Point blank period. But that's what they're saying that they learned from the FTX's DeFi issues. And like what we learned from FTX's DeFi issues for people that are actually in the DeFi is that any loans that FTX actually had out in DeFi had to get paid or they got liquidated. Point blank, period. DeFi lost no money from FTX. The only type of DeFi that maybe lost some type of money from would be Solana, a VC-backed chain where they had liquidity pulled out from different projects. So they were providing liquidity to certain projects and they had to pull that out because they actually didn't have this money to be given away to this type of stuff. So they had to pull that liquidity out.
Liquidity got pulled too. That's what's ugly for Solana. Is that the USDT is not it anymore there. USDC either.
But a liquidity pool and not deep in no situation did DeFi fail or did DeFi need to be regulated because DeFi was like somehow doing like DeFi actually regulated FTX. DeFi regulated Celsius without any of these lawmakers stepping in. So whenever I see like stuff like this, I'm gonna go through this article and like members of the financial underlying are global network regulating and supervising crypto are set out in October to Constellation. They said FSB would look closer into DeFi specific vulnerability indicators. They haven't seen any DeFi specific vulnerability indicators. DeFi has worked without a hitch. That's my thing. I'm like, no, you're talking about exchanges the same way we could be talking about the New York Stock Exchange or something like that, because it's normal companies that are having these issues. It's the Lehman Brothers issue all over again, or any other bank you want to point to. It's the same thing that's been happening throughout all financial time. And the only thing that didn't get affected during this whole down, which is miraculous, and that's why I'm harping on it like this, because like I can't believe that they're not talking about it in this other light, that historically speaking, humans have messed up financial systems time and time again. We had this crazy printing of money that was unprecedented, like never seen before. And then we started to pull it back in, and markets started to crash all around the world. Things were breaking out. Tanks were being rolled up in China. And you know what happened in this new technology system that was doing finances? Everything worked like a charm for the actual projects that we're talking about, doing things that like that if you were from traditional finance that you would actually understand. If you looked at it, the things that you would all of them work like a charm without somebody working behind the counter. And like none of these publications are talking about it like that. None of them are like, well, actually, the borrowing and lending platform, it's basically a decentralized bank, liquidated all the bad actors. Like none of them are talking about that. They're always like, I want to talk about something else. So,
can you go back up to the title? Dude, basically, FTX learned everything that they did from financial stability, like from TradeFi, like everything Solana was doing, like loaning, borrowing money, fucking they weren't evaluating the price of their assets correctly. they were not liquidating certain people. Certain people couldn't lose. That's not stuff that happens in DeFi. That's stuff that happens in DeFi, and
in DeFi you getting liquidated.
Some of these sex exchanges, in DeFi you just get fucking liquidated. And
people be like, why did I get liquidated? They're like, there's this candle that went down and wiped you out, and it lasted for too long, and so you got liquidated. There was no problem, Mr. Johnson. Yeah, your bank will be fine. We're gonna keep that line of credit. Like, no, you got liquidated. And that's the world we're living in.
It can happen to you, man. It can happen to you. But in their case, that they can never get liquidated. But we can all get liquidated. Crazy shit.
It's all a big club, and you ain't in it. Says a little. Oh my goodness! All right, flipping the script a little. Turn the tide a little bit. We're going back to news events. Some things happening in crypto. A little bit more energetic, maybe. So this first one up here is just crypto taking hold of the market. I will call it. This is, I want to call it maybe a DeFi topic. You could maybe say it was a macro topic. That's up for debate. Either way, it's happening, and so we're talking about it, which is Russia's largest bank, Sber. I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly. Announces Ethereum and MetaMask integration on its proprietary blockchain. So I believe it's like they just have like their own blockchain, and they're going to be integrating, Ethereum and MetaMask to their blockchain. This is funny because I was just talking to this guy again, like crypto company behind, but I was just talking to this developer who's working in crypto and he's working in DeFi, and he was talking about how he came from this other company. And one of their big clients, it's like a big tech company, and one of their, a lot of their clients are banks, and banks that want to get blockchain to run and do like management of things, stuff like that. And that's like one of their biggest clients. Still, like, then he's like, oh, it's expensive and all this other stuff, but that's what they want to do. And I'm like, it's probably because they see something like, or they're being told something bigger than they're telling the rest of us. But I'm also not surprised when they see things like the Swift payment system using blockchain technology in their trial run. And then like I was saying it during our podcast, I was like, how long till the Federal Reserve is Swift's doing it, this and that? And then like it was like 3 weeks later, and it was like the Federal Reserve is now running their pilot program. And I'm like, bro, like, like, and it's like all of like 2 weeks before that, like before Swift even saying it, I was talking about like, it's just a cleaner way of doing money. Like, it's the advancement of like doing any type of money system. Like, if you're a smart government, then you want to force people onto the blockchain and get their CBDCs so that you can be more efficient with it. And like, again, like we were just saying, everybody gets, you getting liquidated for show. Like, there's no running from it if we control it. They're just taking that from you. We don't have to. It's just cleaner. And so I wasn't surprised, but you're always surprised to see things line up like that. But logically speaking, it all makes sense. So largest bank in Russia doing that. We've already seen the largest United States banks, the oldest United States banks accepting Bitcoin and all this other stuff this year. And so while we are in this major market turmoil, this bear market, it's just to say that there is quite a bit of things happening from these institutional size investors where they are jumping in, and even if they're not putting like a bunch of money in, they're putting in all these rails. First, so the infrastructure is being built. So
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's happening. This type of shit wasn't happening in the last bear market at all. I mean, they definitely weren't public with it anyway. So now they're like, yeah, we're trying this shit out now. They're like, yeah, they fucked some shit up over there, but over here, we're forking it and making it better. That's what they're telling you anyway. But we've already made it better. It's called DeFi, not letting somebody else do it for you.
Yeah. Continuing on, we got another little window here. This is just in relation to our DeFi topics and somewhat macro topics. But it just says Tether launches offshore Chinese yuan on Tron. So Tron is I would see Tron as like the Asian world, crypto. It's like what Neo wanted to be, but Tron is like, because did you remember that Neo existed? Did you remember? Did I just remind you that Neo's a token in the blockchain?
No, I forgot. I never used it.
Yeah, Neo tried. And it was Korean, right? And then Tron, Justin's like Singaporean. So it's technically Singapore, or at least that's where the company was. When it was company, now it's DAO or whatever, but I think that's still where it's based. Whatever the heck. Tron is launched one situation. And I was really pointing this out, or what I really wanted to point out with this focus on was not just the fact that this happened or happening, but that this is not the only situation of this. Earlier in the crypto market, and I'm going to backpedal a little bit and kind of talk about some things we talked about earlier today. But I mentioned when going into DeFi and something that people should consider when going to DeFi or whatever. My initial I'll start with Binance Smart Chain. I promise I'll start being that much more clear with my speech. But when I jumped on Binance Smart Chain originally, I was looking for a certain type of DeFi project. Like a new DeFi project existed, but I was looking for a certain type of project, and the ROI projects and the crazy inflation projects never really excited me, more so than the idea of a decentralized exchange. I understood how AMMs work and that those were technically exchanges because you could do the trading, and that's nice. Like you needed something to be able to do spot trades. But what about leverage, like you're used to seeing at normal exchanges? The ability to set leverage, to set a sell limit or a stop loss, or to do some type of charting, etc. And a lot of the early projects on Binance Smart Chain that were attracting people had two things going for them. Either they were talking about being a video game or being some type of game, or they were talking about actually being one of these type of exchanges. Those were the only successful projects early on in Binance Smart Chain. You were either talking about being a game in Web3, or you were talking about, we're promising we're going to have tools for trading. Either they're talking about just straight up trading tools that you get access to as like a premium thing, and that's the real yield model, or it's actually we're developing a leveraged exchange and blah, 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 blah. But that stuff hadn't really been figured out in DeFi yet. It just hadn't been, it wasn't on Ethereum yet. People were talking about doing it. And then a few months in, we started to get like the synthetics and the DXDYs and stuff like that. DXDY finally launched and all this stuff. But by then, everybody was busy thinking about pizza and lasagna and cat dog and whatever the heck else was just producing crazy ass yields. It didn't matter. Everybody was becoming what's known as mercenary liquidity regardless. People were just hopping from pool to pool to make the highest APY. And the idea of making your money from actual economic activity on an exchange and having some type of say in the governance of that exchange, or like a BNB token, but more decentralized, even so than just BNB, you get some of those profits, or either either some type of discount on the trading fees, or you get some of the profits from that exchange, which is why people like the AMM idea and why that's so popular. But it just floated away from that so much. And we're starting to see that return to those type of tokenomics and economics with a lot of these different what I'll call different new narratives. And so one is the exchange one, and the other one I would call synthetic assets. So we have SNX that's already been doing that. I don't know if you could technically consider this to be a synthetic asset, but it reminds me of that type of topic. And that could be like having USD on the blockchain, or having the pound on the blockchain, or having the euro on the blockchain. We don't have all these, but like I see those all as like being like synthetic assets. You need something to kind of like to peg them to that asset or do something with it. And so the first thing that we saw on blockchain or DeFi that was doing that was synthex, and we all just accept that USD is doing that already. Just don't even consider like one of these things. And then most recently, we're seeing a lot of projects coming out that are talking about doing that with like gold. We saw, people talking about, assets with like houses and stuff like that in real estate for NFTs. But now people are talking about doing tokenization of gold and stuff. And we've seen tokenization of like mining rigs and stuff like that, the digital. But now it's, these other things. And so it's just continuing to evolve. And all these real world currencies, and this is my real point, all these real world currencies are making a to the blockchain in some way, a shape, or form. So those are things to pay attention to. Roundabout way getting there. But yeah, I feel like it was important to kind of state that whole intro thing of like, because people really got away from that idea of like what we were initially doing in DeFi because the gains were so good. But But that's why it all initially started. It wasn't just because we liked, like, I mean, the first time that any of us heard the name Pancake Swap or Uniswap, I'm like, pink website with a unicorn? I'm like, what are y'all doing, bro? I don't got to take this serious. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Turns out the fucking unicorn is real.
Yeah, turns out the unicorn is real. Seriously. But yeah, cool thing there. Just to tap back on this topic that we covered last week, which is a Telegram chain now tracked on DeFi Llama. So last week we covered that TON, which is actually the name of the blockchain, I guess, from Telegram. Or no, we covered that they were making a wallet. But now they have their own chain. And it's TON.
They got some fucking money on it now.
Yeah. So they got that. Yeah, they got some money over there. They got their own blockchain. They got their own wallet, and they're working on their own exchange coming up. So they want to play the whole game. Telegram ain't playing around. Ain't to be played around with. But yeah, we mentioned that last week, so I wanted to make sure we covered that again, just to track the progress of what's happening with Telegram space. Again, it's Telegram's making a wallet. Telegram has a blockchain now. Telegram blockchain TVL being tracked on DeFi Llama. Telegram is also working on their own AMM DEX, or just a decentralized exchange, but I imagine it's going to be an AMM one. Who knows? Maybe it'll be one of these like GMX type of DEXs that we've been seeing lately. Ready for this last view?
I think it's exciting, man. We're seeing a lot of real stuff. I love Telegram. I don't know that much about their blockchain, but I'm gonna start finding out a little bit more about it. Especially if they have ways to move your money around. I don't see why not.
Yeah. It's like Discord leaning into a little heavy. I'm interested to see what happens. We'll see. I'm not a hater. Yeah, so we're switching. This last topic is still somewhat DeFi E, but it's also altcoin E, and so I put it right on the verge or the edge of these two. I'm sorry I didn't have any topics as good as crypto or what is crypto. Normies still don't get it, and it shows. I need to write better topics like that one. But this is to do with altcoins. Actually, I'm going to use this one. Here. It's alt season. It's alt season, people. If you haven't noticed, now you know. So Cardano's explosive DeFi growth. Let's check that out. Let's see. Like, that's what they're saying here in this article. Like, right? Let's get this true. Let's check the stats. That's what things are. I'd imagine they're tracking Cardano ADA Cardini chains. Let's see what that looks. Hearing any Cardano?
Have I been hearing any new Cardano news?
Cardano.
I think maybe I'm up or maybe not. Only thing I heard about Cardano is that I've got nothing. I don't know. I want to make a fun joke about how Cardano's people are sleeping on their mom's couches, but I feel like that would not bring you joy. So I'm not gonna stop.
He tries to
make
pain
that joke. I am.
Oh my goodness!
I am naive to Cardano. I need somebody to show me. I need somebody to really make me understand Cardano.
I got some assets on Cardano, just chilling.
XRP, Avalanche. I really need someone to show me Avalanche.
Avalanche is sexy. I mean, Avalanche is EVM compatible, though. You don't need to learn anything there.
I need someone to show me some stuff on there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, Avalanche EVM compatible. So like, there's nothing to really, it's like, oh, look, you go there instead of Pancake Swap or Uniswap, it's Trader Joe. Go to Trader Joe and then go here and they'll show you everything else. But I guess this is
what I want is I need to see something that is cool on Near or cool on Avalanche. That is, I guess MM them having the DEX is cool, but what do people buy on the DEX? Like,
monies or different tokens. That's all you. I mean, like, look, I feel like the later things, like actual products and stuff like that, that'll come. Other than like bit refill options, there's always bit refill. It's always money in the banana stand. There's always bit refill. But you know. But yeah, just like the trading of assets, I feel like is always going to be like the first step there. But yeah, here's just a little look at Cardano ecosystem here on DeFi Llama. It does exist. They do exist, guys. MinSwap up here, Muesli over here. All these Muesli, Sunday, MinSwap. I don't know these two in the middle.
I think I've heard of Sunday Swap.
Yeah, Sunday Swap had like the most attention. They had the most attention when it was launching, and they had a failed launch, which also got a lot of attention. It didn't necessarily fail. It was just like it was the first big DEX on Cardano, or like the one that was promoting itself to be first and stuff, and didn't launch like right when they wanted to and stuff. And then when people first got over to Cardano, people found out there was like all these weird like fees and stuff like that with like the wallet. Like I don't know, you just feel like you're trying to you just get zapped. I'm like, wow, these gas fees. And then like transactions were failing and stuff, and it could take a while. It was chaos. Being on a new blockchain early is what it was. Things smooth out in time.
What I would be interested in seeing is what they're doing in Africa, and if it's working or if it's not really. That's when I'll start paying attention to Cardano. I do think that projects that are working in Africa are going to be interesting, but I haven't seen any, and there probably are things. I'm just not looking, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I only like hear like updates about like this or that, like this African nation or whatever the heck accepting Cardano for whatever, or they're gonna work with Cardano and do this, but not so much necessarily like news pertaining to this is what they're doing, or this is what's like what everybody is like. This is the latest hit in African Cardano blockchain. You get where it's going. Anyways, here, just not hearing articles like or titles like that, like it's getting that utility from the people like that. But at institutional level, it seems like groundwork is being laid for Cardano and Africa. But same for Bitcoin in Africa. I believe there was just like this Bitcoin Africa conference that happened, so that's interesting as well. Gonna be rolling on through the section now. We get a little bit more alty with it. So Cardano, an altcoin, also DeFi. Solana, an altcoin, also DeFi, I guess. Solana attracts fund flows second week straight for the first time since FTX collapse. I, of course, had to put this on today's stream to pat myself on the back for saying it. Was it last week? Was it the last 2 weeks? But I was like, yo, all this money went out of Solana. This might be the time to go in there, put down some assets. You don't have to people. This is the thing. And we talked about this on the show. I was like, I wouldn't be buying Solana myself. I would have a little bit of Solana, a few bucks maybe for gas fees. And that's all I care about. Can I do my gas fees? And then I'm going to use United States dollars over there. I'm going to use USDT and Bitcoin, or USDT or USDC and Ethereum. I'm going to use pairs that I care about, assets that I care about. I'm going to buy them up on an exchange or on a blockchain, where it's possible to buy those. You don't have to sit in the native currency of the blockchain. You can go ahead and have some other token. So that's what I would do over there and take advantage of what are probably higher yields, because the way that yields work in DeFi and in other financial structures, it's like, less that there are using that yield system, then you see super high APY. Maybe it says 3,000 APY, and as more and more liquidity comes into that pool, the rewards diminish. And so if a bunch of money just came, left Solana, I'm like, yeah, probably a good time to go get some deals. And so I guess other people have been thinking the same. They actually use
when others are greedy, when others are fearful.
Same.
Say
for shizzle. In addition, it says in addition there were inflows into BTC oriented products. Plus, let's listen to that. In addition, there were inflows of BTC oriented products, plus as well as Polygon Matic, where the results was 300,000 for the entire market of crypto oriented investment products. However, the week ended with a massive outflow of 7.5 million some money coming in and specific to some other tokens, but in general, we still flow out.
A little bit of money laundering.
You know, who knows?
Maybe.
I had a great Melania Trump joke that I just let go. I just let go of right there because I'm gonna be the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? I won't write words on my back. Okay, crypto. This is the next one. Crypto.com's CRO. Again, it's alt season, baby. Crypto.com CRO surges as it launches World Cup NFTs with Coca-Cola. What to say about this other than if you made some, if you had one of those tokens and it went up a lot, you should probably look at taking some profits because the World Cup is ending, baby. It's not gonna last forever. And we are still technically in a bear market. But this is interesting to see. There was all this hype around, what's Chile's going to do and stuff like that. And most of these tokens surrounding the World Cup did have some nice shine, as you will. What else do we got? We got one last thing here. It's another altcoin topic. It's called Magic. This is my first time seeing this token, actually, I believe. But yeah, Magic. Ethereum-based altcoin explodes 138%. And, they're saying that, but here, let me show you guys something about, like, whenever I see something that says a token exploded 100%. But I'm going to push the new section. Say one change. Oh, yeah, that Doge Musk is a 5,000% change. These are going to be like horrible in terms of value, so they're like obvious scams. But some of these other ones, $750,000 of volume on something, and it's very, that can be a legit project. We're trying to be 113% change in 24 hours, 44% change, 140% change. Of course, again, you want to pay attention to volume there. And even in that case, people can just like wash trade with if they have enough money to like trick you or something. The point though is like, don't always just read into the large number of something. Before I go into the rest of this article, let me make it sound as scammy as possible. No, there's just like a good lesson. I feel like that not a lot of people realize that that's how the actual market's moving, where some of these tokens just be blowing up all the time. But yeah, Magic here. Coin and why did this thing go up? It's what I like to call the Coinbase effect. So usually Coinbase tokens are a little bit more vetted, so just want to take a little bit more seriously. Coinbase has done so, and they have added this token to their roadmap. And typically when tokens are added to Coinbase roadmap or any other exchange roadmap, because think of Coinbase as an exchange, they have a little bit of a bull cycle. It's pumpy time. It's time for people to be like, yo, there's more people that are going to be able. And why is that? Because more people have access to buy the token then. Like, yeah, there's a chance to sell it, but it makes it easier for people to buy the token as well, more so than before. People could always sell it that knew about it. So yeah, Magic is a token that powers Treasure DAO, which I have heard about that, as a project that aims to decentralize video game console that incorporates game and non-fungible tokens, NFTs. Treasure DAO's infrastructure includes Trove, and I don't believe that's Token Trove. It's just Trove. An NFT marketplace on Ethereum, scaling solution Arbitrum. So yeah, and competitive gaming platform called Bridge World. Ooh, I haven't here. Let me look that up real quick. But yeah, any opinions on this record?
Not exactly. I don't know. I think that what do you find in Bridge World? Oh, Treasure DAO. Treasure DAO's been out there for a while.
Yeah, let's give it a little. Yeah, but this is Bridge. Yeah, this is their competitive gaming platform.
Is Magic Mem or what?
Section.
Or is Magic Mem? Is that?
Is it Mem? Oh no, these are two different tokens. Mem is Mem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mem is Mem. Mem Mem's been in trouble recently. We actually just did like a kind of like an audit on Mem at like my job recently. We were like deep dive on tokens because we're like always looking like, you know, what are the actual tokens that are like surviving DeFi and stuff like that, and actually doing like, you know, well, and what's happening and stuff like that. And like Mem is around, right? Let me see if it pops. The real thing is that like people can't take out positions in Mem or whatever. Like there's not enough like all the liquidity or all the leverage or liquidity is taken. So you can't mint more Mem or use more Mem or whatever. So in essence, the protocol, what makes it attractive or like what make people want to use it is kind of like stalemated right now. And it's not typing it in, probably because I'm like in like DeFi or some type of weird situation, but whatever. And this is coming soon, so as they always say, it's not done yet. It's on its way. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, that was the last one that I wanted to cover there. Said at the time of writing, Magic is trading at 53 cents. Yeah, Mem, Magic Internet Money is a stable coin, which, oh my goodness, I'm really mad that it's not popping open now. Give me my coin.
My stuff. My stuff has been slow all day. Looking at treasures, medium.
$1. Anything.
Alright, so treasure is Magic, I guess. They rebranded.
Yeah, Treasure DAO any token.
Okay, there we go.
So, okay. And yeah, I popped this up on the screen, like not to confuse people. I just wanted to check again, like what made Magic Internet abracadabra so attractive to investors was that you could do this whole like borrowing and lending exercise on their platform, but apparently that's like kind of like stalemated currently, so you can't like really borrow or anything like that. But this is just to my point of like DeFi stable coins and stuff like that. So like people can't make money in the way they used to off this platform. However, look at that. This decentralized token is still pegged to $1. Oh my goodness. It's still 0.9. Like, oh my goodness. It's like almost like it didn't fail, like the media would want you to believe, because it's not an algorithmic stable coin. It's an over collateralized token. So.
Well, that's always good.
So like even when there's like, oh, it's all dried up, well, it's still holding its dollar peg. Like, that's that story.
Go back to that treasure game.
Oh yeah, you want to see that again? Yeah, Bridge World. Yeah, play now. Yeah, Connect Wallet. They got a Forge. They got an Atlas mine. It's like a. This reminds me of Alien Worlds, but like, or like not. I guess like with this interface though, not so much Alien Worlds. It would be more like a.
Yeah, I'm trying to hate.
I'm like Crystal Veil. What's that Crystal? DeFi Kingdoms.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There we go. It does remind me of DeFi Kingdom, which is funny because that's also on Arbitrum. No, it's on Avalanche.
DeFi Kingdom is
Avalanche.
But they got their own subnet on Avalanche.
And this is Avalanche too.
This said Arbitrum.
Okay, my bad.
So all the hotness has been taken from Arbitrum lately. If you're not really like down with the get down crypto Twitter people or that nerdy that you want to have all crypto Twitter people talk to you on your accounts, I understand. But Arbitrum is the new hotness. Like insert Will Ferrell right there. Platforms on Arbitrum, and you know what I'm saying? You want to stay with the DeFi narrative, that's probably where to go. GMX. I've been saying it to the homies for a while, and it's just been climbing and climbing and climbing. Sent back to our chat like some months. Like I was like, yo, GMX, I'm about that. And this is like the type of platform that I was looking for on Binance Smart Chain when I first started doing DeFi on Binance Smart Chain. It's a platform like GMX. So after the bull run, when the dust settled and I found GMX, I was like, yo, perfect. This is where I'll go to because you're probably going to do wonderful in the next bull market. Like I'd be hard pressed to imagine this platform just stops making money when it's making money in the bear. Wouldn't that be interesting? So yeah, GMX doing its thing on Arbitrum and Avalanche. Again, I'm over here just so you can see other one, Arbitrum. Right now they're doing their thing.
See Stargate on there. I like Stargate a lot.
Is there a Stargate? Like, well, their whole goes like, you know, to be that Stargate. So, you know, their thing. You probably want to scroll a little farther down this list if you want to catch like protocols like Excalibur is like a newer protocol that, you know, real crypto. I'm like calling them degens, but like, you know, like they're like punk degens at this point. You know, they're really maybe might as well be called like considered like punks, crypto punks, because it's like the hardcore people that are actually interested in more than just speculative on token. How do you make DeFi and stuff work? But that's one that's been talked about. Saddle finances I've seen come into the play. But yeah, I would check out. Don't necessarily just stick to the top of the list. Go down. You know, again, in the early days of Ethereum DeFi, projects with over 200,000 TVL were like looked at as like, oh, this is probably a good project. Okay, look, they got. Speaking of early Ethereum, they got Pickle over here. You got ETH Degen, early guy that knows some Pickle.
One of my shot caller guys was talking about Pickle, I think, earlier, telling me to look at it.
I mean, it's just survived. There's like, I think it's kind of like more like it says yield aggregator. I'm like, it's like a Yearn Finance type of deal. And then they have them both titled the same thing. Look at that.
Was it Pickle Finance? That's
Smurf. It's like Smurf knows what he talks about.
Yeah, Pickle Finance quarterly business review. Since they are active.
Yeah, Pickle's on my place.
Pickle was one of the first. It was one of the, well, not one of the first, but it was when
they used to use
when they were like booming. I remember
back when everybody would just make meme pages and like, I don't know if you remember the first Pickle interface, but it was like using Pickle Rick. Yeah, I was like, bro, stop. And like now it looks like fancier and stuff like that, and like they kind of moved away from like the pickle jars looking like it used to look. And then like after Pickle Rick, they went like super we're just pickles, we don't want to get sued, we're just pickles. And it's like, bro. But it's funny. It's funny the things like these transitions people use. You'll see that a lot in DeFi projects when they're early, where they like don't care. They're like, you know, what if we fail? Screw it. We'll just use whatever branding we want. Like we'll use Dragon Ball Z characters. And then as it gets more serious and tracks more TVL, they'll revamp the website.
Degens better clean it up around here. They start get serious.
Yeah, but you're in yield bearing. Any of these yield bearing ones you guys see on this list are ones to look into. That just means that you can probably deposit your like either a single asset, so Bitcoin or Ethereum, or a LP pair of an asset, and earn some yield on that asset. And this platform is made to earn some type of real yield scenario on it. So either utilizing other protocols like Uniswap or Yearn or whatever, but they have these mechanisms built into them that are made to generate some yield on your stuff, as opposed to just like a farm type of scenario. Another, I think, yield aggregator would be in this list. Would be like although I feel like there's different types of yield aggregators, but we'll be like Beefy. Beefy's a really popular one, where like Beefy aggregate that yield across many chains.
I really need to start some yield, man. I'll just be like, man, I'm kind of risk averse on the yield stuff. Still.
See, I need to start deploying some of my as they call it, dry powder. I have stuff that's earning me yield, and I've just kept stuff as like Bitcoin and USDT or USDC or ETH USDC or Cardano USDC. I've kept some liquidity pairs together just regardless. Like they earn some passive income, and those tokens are still, it's not like those tokens are going anywhere, but I know any day of the week I can come into DeFi, and honestly I can afford a meal or a hotel room or something. DeFi still. That's cool. That's passive income. Actually passive. I got stuff on Cardano. I don't know how it's doing. I just put it up, set it up, and I have not looked at it in 6 months. I don't know what's going on over there. But it's on some bigger platforms like Moosely and Sunday Swap, which we just saw have the most TVL. So apparently they did not go under. Made some good choices there. Yeah. This is the type of stuff you're looking at.
You looked at Phantom at all lately?
I've been hearing all this Phantom news lately. I have not looked at Phantom, but Phantom making a resurgence, and I guess he's been talking lately. Andre Cronje, who's it's like he was like the lead Phantom developer. Maybe I just forgot that he was like the creator.
He left. He left. And he's been talking about coming back and talking about, I guess their foundation put out a report about all the money that they have in their runway, and how they've, they're only spending a couple $1 million a year, and how they're still developing.
That would be good. I need to go my Phantom bags. I really just left that.
Nice to hear that. It's nice to hear that people are still working on Phantom.
Yeah, it had everything going for it, and it developed a lot of products and stuff like that work. MIM, Abracadabra, who just showed like resilient, regardless of that's around it. I think that's where it started. I don't think it started on any other chain. I think it started on Phantom and bridged to other chains like Polygon and stuff like that.
I think Phantom was one of the ones that it started on for sure. I think it was a couple chains.
Nice to hear that about Phantom. Abracadabra? I don't think it. I feel like it's like literally started on Phantom and then like got to like Avalanche and like eventually Polygon. I could be wrong though. That's just like it didn't start on multiple at like one. But yeah, here's the Phantom ecosystem we're looking at. I know I have some stuff on Spooky Swap. That's probably where I left it. It's interesting to see Geist took over Spooky Swap because before I guess I was thinking about swap. I was thinking about Geist and Spirit Swap, which I don't even see Spirit on this list right now, so maybe that was a good call. But yeah, those were the two. Man, I made some money with Scream. Wish would have stayed up. I knew it was all bad with once Cream. It's like Scream is a fork of Cream Finance, and Cream got hacked for like a second time. And I had like this money in Scream, and I was like, I should sell. like I don't care if it's patched or what. People are gonna have some type of feel. I should sell. And sure enough, it just started going down. This one dude that was like, I would tell him like, yo, I made all this money off like Scream, whatever. And he's like, why are you selling your Scream? And I'm like, bro, like if it's a fork, it's like that, don't matter. Like people, somebody with big bags is gonna be like, I'm not taking the chance, and they just dump the price.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Here the Phantom ecosystem. Nice amount of money still. Yeah, it might be time to get back into some of these plays. Get really degen with it. I don't know what these APYs are looking like over here. Let's play a fun game real quick. It doesn't pancake swap or Uniswap of Phantom, right? So don't expect high APYs, but let's see what's like kicking it over here. Actually, they have like a whole yield section, which should display the same information. That now. All right, so USDC and Boo still in that 20 range. FTM and Deuce. I think Deuce is an exchange. Could be wrong. Orbs. I've seen that name recently too. OF. I feel like that's maybe the stable coin. But yeah. Worth looking into some of these strategies. Is there anything that I would like get into when I'm looking at this list? Any of these tokens would interest you, Satoshi? This is the last thing we're looking at unless you say something else. Any of these tokens that would like I would probably
scroll back up. Go back down again.
What we gotta go. Okay. I was like, so down to get the safer plays. The riskier plays are gonna be at the top. I don't know what OS like those like again. And some of these you're gonna have to do yours to figure out what they are, because some of those might be like a stable coin. And if it's a stable coin, depending on how it's pegged and stuff like that, I would jump into that. Get like that 30%.
Yeah.
On a straight up
I'm
stable
not gonna
coin.
lie. FTM and Boo probably. Boo and USDC or US, Boo USDC. It's probably what I would be looking at. Seems a little safer. Carrot maybe. I think some of my guys got into Carrot. I did not.
That's like leveraged yields. So I haven't used Tarot. Like I've done research around it and stuff like that. But yeah, it's leveraging. Like if you had $100 of yield from your LPs, then they can like leverage that to be whatever. Like multiply it by 5, for example. Like it's $500 and I'm farming.
I see Matic on there.
Yeah, FTM Matic for FTM and Matic. And again, if you're like used to Ethereum or something like that, usually on ETH would be like ETHmatic. Yeah, you just use like in this case, it's the impermanent loss that you're worried about more so. Like but if you're like me and like you're like I just want some exposure to the Phantom token and Matic, regardless of like impermanent loss, and then because like then you have skin in the game, right? And then I'm also earning some type of passive income off of it. Like that's kind of how I take a lot of these. Where it's like, I want skin in the game on that token, and I like that passive coming off of that one. I'm gonna look at the better game. If you wanted like some cheap stuff, or like saying cheap, but like low APYs, straight up stable coins, 3% for these ones over here. Yeah. Nothing crazy over here. But this is like as dry. It's funny to get done stuff. With Spooky Swap. That's gonna conclude our day today, Stoji. Conclude our stream. Has that energized you for the market?
Yeah, I think gotta let people know where to find what's actually tangible and where you can find protocols and how much money they have, and I know it's not super flashy probably to everyone, but this is the stuff that matters. This is the stuff that's going to help you actually analyze what's going on here. Being able to see it for yourself and not needing someone else, not needing those influencers to tell you. You being able to go out and fish for your head necessarily.
Feel that, yeah. I need to rejuvenate myself. We'll be making some new content here coming up, guys, where I'll be doing things like jumping into some of these newer protocols and doing my best to explain some of these real yield scenarios and like even projects that I don't use, but like researching, like even if it's a shitty project, being like, yo, this is why I don't think it's that good, or this is what it does, and so know that about this project.
It looks like I got some invite codes for this Arkham thing. I'm gonna send it to you so you can be more degen and let some people go find TZ's wallets for us and let us know what he's buying.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Any closing thoughts then? Closing
thoughts is, I guess, just if you find anything that looks cool, let us know so we can cover it.
And if I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and yeah, that would be accurate. My closing thought would be, it's another chart. Smurf, stop with the charts. No, this is a good one. Going back to DeFi Llama, it's our favorite place. And I was talking about the yields. I was talking about how you could use it to find yields, guys. And so, using it to find yields. We got some yields over here of different tokens and stuff like that. But yeah, just open this up, yield section, pools, and it's a lot sexier than the 3%. These are going to be risky regardless of the situation, though. The ones where it's like, you got to be like a good trader. Like I was saying when I'm reviewing things. This is what this does. Know what it does. Don't just buy into things to buy into things. Ooh, is that Zen WE for 630%? Really?
Damn.
Split my Zen and get 300 or 630% on it. He might do that. I need to see that on like Polygon or something like that. That's it for sure. Because Zen is free. In fact, I need to make more wallets and keep stacking that Zen. Know how. Learn how. That's what you got to do, there, right? I want to. I might honestly. We might end up integrating it with Money Match Gaming's Discord at some point. I feel like that would be like a fun like arcade token to like help usher people into blockchain. And like again, it's like a token that like if we're just opening wallets to mint out Zen, like and then we're distributing, giving the Zen to people for like doing whatever gaming and stuff like that. Like it's not really hurting us any. And all that means is like over time we can give you less and less Zen. But you can always take that Zen and actually sell it or whatever the hell you want to do with it, or use it in our system. So I'm like, yeah, in that sense, it's a great token for like all this type of like projects like us. So we'll see. That requires some development, so it's not like a pressing thing. I'm trying to be frugal in this bear, but if I during my coding journey and stuff like that do anything, that would probably be it. Start to integrate Zen apps.
I think that'd be pretty cool because you see all these people like who are literally mining Pi tokens. Like they've been mining them Pi tokens for years and no one knows what's going on there. They're doing I think that's hilarious. But yeah, man, dude, I think that what you guys do with Money Match Gaming is really cool, and that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, some cool stuff coming out with our whole system for 2023. I'll start sharing. I'm actually starting to share that stuff starting next week. We're really gonna go ham on trying to get the information out and new content and stuff. So yeah, be on the lookout for that type of stuff. Lots of cool things coming. But yeah, that's it for this week's Trustless Degens. We'll see you guys next time. I'm not leaving. They're gonna need a wrecking ball. Whatever.
Hey, that's what Sam's saying. He's saying he ain't leaving either.
Oh my goodness! Get him out of here.
You just keep on talking, bro. Keep on talking.
Him and his friend Gary.